Khloe Kardashian is interested to standing by Scott Disick, even though Kourtney has left him. Hi, before we continue, please subscribe to the channel for all Kardashians news and updates. Khloe Kardashian has made it very clear that no matter what changes happen in her family, she will never walk away from her bond with Scott Disick. Even though Kourtney Kardashian has fully moved on with her life, Khloe believes that Scott is someone she will always stand by. For many years, people who watch the Kardashian family on television have wondered whether Khloe and Scott's playful relationship is just something created for cameras, but those close to them insist that it is real. The friendship between the two is said to be completely genuine, and they actually spend more time together in private than the public gets to see. Whether or not Kourtney likes it, Khloe and Scott continue to share a close connection. Scott has been part of Khloe's life since she was very young. He entered her world back when she was in her early 20s, and over the years he became more than just her sister's partner. To Khloe, Scott feels like family, and she has said repeatedly that this will never change. He treats her like his own sister and has often stepped into the role of being her protector. Whenever she has gone through painful times, Scott has been right there by her side, giving support in ways few people know about. Khloe has been open about her difficult past relationships, from her marriage to Lamar Odom to her rocky situation with Tristan Thompson. During her divorce from Lamar, Scott was present to comfort her, listening when she cried and offering help whenever she needed it. Years later, when Tristan was caught in cheating scandals, Scott was again one of the people who stood firmly with Khloe. He never turned away from her struggles and did everything possible to ease her pain. According to people who know them well, Khloe has never forgotten his loyalty during those hard times. That is why Khloe feels she could never abandon Scott, even though her sister Kourtney is now married and has a new life with Travis Barker. To her, Scott has earned his place in her circle forever. She isn't gossiping about Kourtney with him or plotting behind her back, but Kourtney has suspicions. She sometimes feels uncomfortable with how close her sister and her former partner remain. What really made things worse was when Khloe invited Scott to be her very first guest on her podcast, instead of choosing Kourtney. To many people, this spoke volumes about who she wanted to highlight in her personal projects. Those around the family say Khloe does not seem to understand Kourtney's side of things. Whenever the subject of her friendship with Scott comes up, she becomes defensive, insisting that nothing is wrong with how they interact. Kourtney, however, can't help but feel uneasy. Kourtney and Scott had a long and complicated history. They were together for nearly 9 years before finally splitting in 2015. During their time as a couple, they welcomed 3 children: Mason, now a teenager, Penelope, who is also growing up fast, and their youngest, Rain. Even though their relationship did not last, Scott has remained active as a father to their children. After their breakup, Kourtney eventually found happiness again. She had been close friends with Travis Barker for many years before they decided to take their friendship further and begin dating in early 2021. Their relationship grew quickly, and they tied the knot in May 2022 with a simple ceremony in California, followed by a more extravagant celebration in Italy. A year later, they expanded their family with the birth of their son, Rocky, which made Kourtney a mother of 4 and gave Travis his first child with her. Meanwhile, Khloe and Scott have continued to face constant speculation from fans and the media. For years, people have suggested there might be more than friendship between them. This topic finally came up when Scott joined Khloe on the very first episode of her new podcast, which she titled, Khloe in Wonderland. The episode was released in January 2024, and it gave both of them a chance to address the rumors directly. Scott joked during the podcast that even his parents used to question him about the rumors. He shared a story about how his late father would ask if Khloe was pregnant with his child, and Scott would play along with the joke, telling him yes. He laughed while telling the story, but Khloe was quick to step in and make it clear to listeners that this was not true. She reminded everyone that nothing like that had ever happened between them. The podcast also gave Khloe the chance to explain why she had chosen Scott as her first guest. She revealed that when she asked fans who they most wanted to hear from, the overwhelming response was Scott. People wanted an honest and unfiltered conversation between the two of them, and she delivered that by bringing him on. During their talk, Khloe admitted that one of the top questions fans have asked her for years is whether she and Scott have ever been romantically involved. Another question she often hears is why the two of them are not married, since their bond is so obvious. Scott, never one to hold back, jokingly shouted that of course they had hooked up, but Khloe immediately shut down the joke by saying it was not true. After the laughter, Scott spoke more seriously about the situation. He explained that it was ridiculous for people to think he and Khloe had ever been more than friends, especially since he has children with her sister. He admitted that he sometimes says things that sound over the top, but he wanted to be clear that he has never crossed that line with Khloe. She added that even if they had ever dated, the public would probably have harshly judged them, which makes the idea even more unreasonable. Scott and Khloe have built a reputation for being playful and teasing with each other. Their banter often makes fans laugh, but it also fuels speculation. For outsiders, it can be hard to separate the jokes from the truth. Yet, when you look closely at their history, what stands out most is how consistently Scott has been there during Khloe's lowest moments. This loyalty explains why she continues to defend him so strongly, even if it causes tension within the family. Over time, Khloe has grown more confident in her independence, but she also cherishes the people who stood beside her through her hardest years. Scott happens to be one of those people, and she refuses to let anyone, not even her sister, take that away. She sees him as someone who has proved again and again that he cares for her as if she were blood family. At the same time, Kourtney is adjusting to her new chapter with Travis and their blended family. Even though she has moved forward, the past still lingers because Scott remains connected to both her and her children. That overlap is what makes her uneasy when she sees how much time Scott spends with Khloe. While Kourtney may feel uncomfortable, Khloe believes she is simply honoring a friendship that is too deep to break. Their story continues to spark conversations online, where fans are divided. Some people admire Khloe for staying loyal to someone who has been such a strong support in her life. Others think she should create more distance out of respect for her sister's new marriage. Either way, the Kardashian family remains one of the most talked about families in the world, and every decision they make becomes public discussion. The truth about Khloe and Scott may be simple, but the way people perceive it makes it complicated. Their bond has been shaped by years of shared history, struggles, and loyalty. For Khloe, that loyalty is enough to keep Scott in her life, no matter how anyone else feels about it. And as long as they continue to joke, laugh, and spend time together, people will keep wondering whether their friendship hides something more. Thanks for watching. Please do well to share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more Kardashian updates.